Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming, and for those of you who are tuning in via YouTube or Facebook, thank you for joining us. So I have a couple of important announcements. First, tonight we are hosting a safety fair. It's from 6 to 8 at the Post, P-O-S-T, in Mesa. And you don't have to live in Mesa to come, but we hope the community can attend. We are going to have information on fentanyl, organized retail crime, and other matters as well. So I hope to see you there. Second, you might have noticed that I am joined by law enforcement chiefs from across Maricopa County. And let me introduce to you who's here. First of all, we have Chief Michael Sullivan from Phoenix PD. We have Sheriff Russ Skinner. Chief Ken Koss from Mesa. Chief Bob Sanders from Buckeye, Chief Brian Chapman from Chandler, Chief Michael Solberg from Gilbert, Chief Chris Briggs from Glendale, Chief Brian Izzett from Goodyear, Chief Randy Bryce from Queen Creek Police, Chief Benny Pena from Surprise, Chief Ken McCoy from Tempe. We have Assistant Chief Carrie Gamby from ASU, and Assistant Chief Johnny John from Apache Junction Police. Over the past 2 years, we all have seen a substantial number of juveniles or young adults out in the community committing crimes. And I'm not talking about petty crimes, I'm talking about murder, robbery, and assaults. If you look at the numbers from 2022 and 2023, they are alarming. And especially when you consider that overall crime is trending downward, but juvenile crime here and across Arizona and the rest of the nation is on the rise. Between 2022 and 2023, we saw a 350% increase in the number of first-degree juvenile murder cases filed into adult court. So that represents from 6 cases in 2022 to 27 in 2023. In the aggravated assault category, we went from 12 to 25. Other crimes like armed robberies and drive-by shootings also went up. Overall, the data shows one trend. The number of teenagers and juveniles referred for prosecution is going up, with the increase occurring primarily in violent crimes. So the chiefs and sheriff that are joining me today can attest to you as well that this is happening in their cities. There's also a trend that we've noticed among teenagers, and I know you have too, that we need to pay attention to, and that is the posting of videos of violence on social media, and combined with the lack of reporting the crimes to police or cooperating with police. Teens will often record themselves and their peers at fights, brawls, or doing other things they shouldn't be doing, and many times the videos created end up going viral on social media, and the problem is they never get reported to law enforcement. And even if law enforcement does see them, there's no context. So for example, if a video is posted, we may look at it, we may not know who the individuals are, we may not know the locations or jurisdiction of where this video took place. And as we've talked about in the past, we need somebody to testify in court that the video is an accurate depiction of what happened. So we need to know who that is. And it doesn't have to be the person who took the video, but it has to be somebody who was there. And then we also need context, because as you know, you don't walk around with your phone running all the time or your camera running. Well, you guys do pretty much, but the rest of us don't. You take it out in response to something that has happened. And so a lot of times the context is not captured by every single video, but there may be another video that captures context. This will help us be successful in prosecuting and investigating these cases. So it is critical that reporting to law enforcement is done to keep the community safe so that we can hold people accountable. To put it simply, if these acts don't get reported to the police, we won't have a case to prosecute. So this is why I'm announcing a new awareness campaign called Report, Don't Repost. You can see some of the materials that we're displaying on the side monitors. So we're reaching out to you and asking you to help us by reporting these acts of violence to police rather than just reposting them online. One of the things that you can find at our website, Maricopa County Attorney website, is a set of videos, and we're going to show you one of them now.
Parents, we need to talk about teen violence. It's hurting our kids and our communities.
Seeing how violence impacts our kids is heartbreaking. We need to step up.
It affects everyone. So when it comes to teen violence videos, do the right thing. Report it, don't repost.
The Maricopa County Attorney's Office is committed to keeping our community safe and free from teen violence. Let's work together to report videos of violence instead of reposting them. Together, we can create a safer community. And again, we have the page is on our website, maricopacountyattorney.org, and it's loaded with resources. So whoever you are, parents, community members, teachers, teenagers, you can find posters, you can find public service announcement videos such as that, hashtags, all sorts of information on how to work with us in curbing teen violence, and the social media firestorm that's created when videos are posted but not sent to the police. So if there's a final message that we would send to you, it's with the help of police departments, our office, the community, and the media, that unified effort is going to be what's necessary to help reduce teen violence. So I want to thank our chiefs and Sheriff Skinner who have made the time to be here today. They're all going to stick around and be available to you for one-on-one interviews if you'd like to approach them after I'm done taking your questions on this campaign. And then I'll open it up for other questions in a minute. Any questions on this campaign? Okay, I'll just take up other questions then.
Just a quick
Oh, I'm sorry.
question. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
I guess, how are you going to get this message to teens specifically? And, you know, I saw the video and of course the message is clear, but how do you plan on relaying this message to teens?
Well, this is part of a digital campaign that we're going to do. It's not just having, you know, resources available if they go to a website. But this is also step one in the process of other things that we're going to be doing to reach out to teens. Schools obviously are one of the most effective ways to do that, and we've already taken steps in that direction. Hey, Matt.
Hey, this may not be a question for you as much as, but what's the teeth behind this? If everybody's calling or reporting videos to the police, how are they sorting through it, deciding what to follow up on, et cetera, et cetera? Are there more new resources being added?
Well, I think that's a good question to ask the chiefs and the sheriff when you have the one-on-one. But obviously, this is such an important emphasis that we're putting on this that speaking from my office, we're going to direct the resources that we need to. So.
Obviously, the reason a lot of these kids post these things to social media is to get clicks, get likes, get street cred or whatever for actually having the video up.
Right.
So how do you change their mentality, and is there a way that they can remain anonymous when they submit video resources to you?
You know, obviously it would be helpful for witnesses to cooperate with us. But, you know, if they're going to be anonymous, at least we'll have something hopefully actionable to start on. But, you know, we need some information. If we don't know any of the people in the video, we don't even know where the video was taken. It may look horrendous. They do look horrendous, but we have to have something actionable.
And are the agencies ready to take just random video clips in, or social media, like just
Well,
URLs?
they're going to go through a normal reporting process. There's not going to be just a cache where you send them. So it is a normal reporting process.
Sorry, one more quick one before
Sure.
I get to other questions. Have you tried engaging with the actual social media platforms where teens are posting these videos? And if so, what has been their response and willingness to participate in a campaign like this?
Actually, we did a number of months ago. I made a video and did put it on some of the social media websites explaining this. But we're going to continue to keep that up. Obviously, it's a message that needs to be repeated.
Are they cooperating or willing to participate?
I mean, we've had some cooperation, but as you guys know, it's a drumbeat that has to keep going. It's not something that can just happen one time and then it'll peak and then it'll fall off. We have to keep this going, and we have to make sure that we explain to people why this is important.
But the actual social media companies, I'm sorry, like Snapchat or Instagram, TikTok, have they been cooperative?
Well, you mean in the investigation?
Or willing to participate in a campaign like this and play a part?
Oh, we haven't reached out to them to participate in the campaign. We're just using that as a digital media. So, all right.
One more. What is your messaging to parents that are probably going to see this and maybe have conversations with their teens? What's your goal for those conversations?
I think it's one of the things that I have seen recently is videos where somebody is being beaten and the parents aren't even made aware of it by the child. And, going back to my sex crimes prosecutor days, it's critical for parents out there to make sure that they let their child know, you can tell me anything. I'm here to protect you. We're going to handle this correctly. So that they have that open line of communication, so that they have communication. Sit down with your kids and talk to them, because that's going to be critical for parents to be able to monitor what's going on in their child's community.
Anybody else on this subject?
Okay. All right. So then I will open it up. Let these guys get out of here. Okay. All right.
Hi.
Hi.
I had a question about and maybe the assistant chief for ASU, if she's still here, to address this as well. But 3TV had reported that ASU PD had submitted more information to the MCAO on the Gaza protesters. So I guess the question from my newsroom is what information was submitted, when is the MCAO waiting on anything else, and when can we expect a decision on whether or not you're charges on that?
Yeah, as you know, this involves 72, I believe, protesters. So I am in regular contact with the attorneys that are going through that information. As you can imagine, it's voluminous in terms of body cameras, et cetera. I don't want to address what specific evidence we got in or not, but we are working as quickly as possible to make a decision on these cases, and we will as quickly as we can.
So you received additional information, and you were talking about this. Was this the videos, is that what you're describing? Or?
I'm not going to comment on all the information we have received. We have received a submittal from ASU that has substantial amounts of information, evidence in it, and we're going through that.
All right. Were you aware of the allegations that Alistair Adele was an abused spouse? And if so, did you do anything about it?
I believe we responded to you last night, and that's what you're going to get from this office on that issue.
You didn't give me an answer, really. You can't tell me whether or not you knew, or he knew.
I'm not answering any questions related to.
Did you speak to David DeNitto before she died?
Again, we're not answering any questions on that. Next question.
Okay, then I have a couple other questions. One, you didn't debate your primary rival, Gina Godbeer. Will you commit to debating Tamika Wooten?
We already have.
You already have? Oh, okay, great. When is that going to happen?
We'll get the date.
I can't remember the date.
There was also a report, and this is a right-wing news outlet, that you're engaged to be married to Paul Stout. Is that correct?
I don't answer questions about my personal life.
You can't answer whether or not that's true.
I do not answer questions about my personal life. I'm here to answer questions about the Maricopa County Attorney's Office.
Oh, okay. But you're the Maricopa County Attorney.
Next question.
All right.
A couple questions on a couple of different topics. Has your office extended any plea agreements to any of the 7 defendants in the Preston Lord murder case? And if not, do you intend to?
I don't talk about plea negotiations. I don't think that's appropriate. It's not off the table. I'll say that.
And just to follow up on that, the attorney for Talon Renner in court the other day indicated that she was told that she would not be extended an offer and she would have to request one. Is that the protocol that all defendants are being told to follow, or is it different for each defendant?
I'd have to verify that with the prosecutor. We leave that up to the individual prosecutors. That could change. I know when I was handling a caseload, it depended somewhat on the case and the, co-defendants, et cetera.
And then I know that your office put an update out on social media about the Laura Owens case. I know there's been a lot of interest about that. Are you able to provide an update as to where you're at in that process and potentially a time frame as to when a decision could be made?
I know, in fact, I was talking to one of the investigators working on it this morning about an update, and I know they're going through it quickly. They've talked to a number of people, and as you can imagine, it's gathering information from a number of different sources, medical, courts, et cetera. So they're busy working on that.
And then just generally, when looking at a case like that, how usual or typical or unusual is it to have a case referred to your office in the way that it was, when a judge makes a ruling in a family court case and then it ends up in your house?
I've seen that happen before. I've actually had cases where that's happened, and the judge has referred, typically it's for perjury charges, they'll refer it directly to our office. So that part's not uncommon. Obviously, the nature of the case is exceptional.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hi, I wanted to ask about the new charges that Zion Teasley is facing. He's a suspect in the Lauren Hickey murder case.
Yes.
The new charges in the court documents we got, the details are eerily similar to the details in Lauren's murder, but in this case, the victim survived. What came about to get these new charges submitted? Because I know he was first talked to about this about a year prior.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of that would be a question for the police department. What I can tell you is that we received the submittal after we received the submittal on the homicide, and the same attorneys are working on that, and we're able to work with the police to bring this to the charges that you've seen. If you have seen them, it's aggravated assault and burglary.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.